You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
That's so funny.
Oh, the waste.
Oh, the waste. Collector's edition. Audience award. The British Academy of Film and Television Arts Award. It's written in with tape. Good times noodle salad. Smile because it happened. $1. It's a demo. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. These are achievements. It's impossible to get this achievement. Nominee. Best debut game. Best story. New video game releasing today. Alright. Of course, you get a call and miss the good stuff. It's funny how many people have... A lot of people have, like the mods have been saying that. Meetings pulling them away. Oh, little Stanley. Little hamster.
Mais ici, c'est aussi où je me souviens de la sortie de The Stanley Parable.
Stanley Parable. Did I go the wrong way? Hi.
C'était en 2013.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where the hell are you now? Is that a mouse?
No hamster guy.
Little gerbil?
Yeah.
So Bob made me play Moss the other day.
Hold on, they can't hear you. We got here and they started singing.
Edith Rose. Or Edith Piaf, La Vie en Rose. Beautiful song, you ever heard of it?
Oh, I've never heard of it. Really? This is a real
No,
song?
no, that's not what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying Edith Piaf is a French singer.
So what do you want to say?
So the other day, Bog had me sit down and play
Moss.
Yeah,
on
I
VR,
love it.
in VR.
It's the cutest thing ever. I love it. And I turned to him and I asked him, like, can we get a mouse? And then he told me no.
No.
How mean is that?
We have a cat.
So they can be friends?
Yeah.
It's just a tiny little baby mouse.
Moss, there's 2 games, Moss and Moss 2, or Book 2.
Oh, it's so good, FPS. It's so cute.
They're VR only games. We got a PSVR 2. It's our first VR system. They're amazing. Yeah.
It's really, really, really cute. Never! No! No strength shame, FPS.
The mouse would get eaten.
Right? Okay, Regal Peach, thank you. Fizz needs a friend. And there was this adorable cat that I showed him yesterday.
She's the friend.
Her name was Angelica. All right. And
Very cute cat. Yeah. But we're not covering bills, so until that's fixed, no more pets. How's that? How about we make a smart decision?
Okay, how about you sign up for OnlyFans and start doing Bog in the hot tub streams?
Because I'd like to make money.
Well, that'll make money.
That would not make money.
We'll get another cat. I'll do elbow shots. I'll do provocative pictures of my elbows.
There you go. Can we pay to not watch? Yeah.
No.
That's called tipping on the stream. Yeah. By the way, $3 more and we can do a giveaway. All right, so it's in here.
I've been doing
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art,
That's
Stanley
hilarious.
Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was,
Skyrim.
It was
Persona 3.
It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Man, that was great. I know, Stephanie Sterling reference. That's amazing. All right, we can go up or down.
A kind gesture.
Thank you, Shiveria.
This needs to go to Azaria Wants a Second Cat Fund.
That'll be money that'll never get touched. That fund. Thank you, Shiveria. Yeah. I would assume they know FPS. Yeah, it's the same place where 8-Bit Noise keeps the PS5 fund. That's right. Thank you so much. Whenever mods are able to, please, can we run a Game Vault giveaway, please? You can type !Vault to see the games in there. All right, the original remake. For Scott K. That's the collector's edition. And it came with a tie. Oh, funny. Your number is 29.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Oh, I think they're real too, Zalandros. For sure. This is fun. This is a really funny way to do DLC too. They added some things to the Ultra Deluxe, and it's all very tongue-in-cheek. And it also is basically calling out, the narrator's calling out what all the critics would say. Like, don't touch the game. It was nearly perfect. Why are you adding things to the game that are meaningless? Yeah, it's great. Thanks for starting the review, the giveaway, Marauder, not the review. One climb enter, max of 500. It's for a Game Vault game. Now wait, are we stuck? Hello? The serious room? I want to go to the serious room. How do we go to the serious room?
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Okay. How do we do that? You're not gonna make me go to the menu, aren't you? The end is never, the end is never. I want to go to the serious room. Oh, it's fun. No? What if we go back this way? What if we go downstairs now? Ah, now it's open.
Wait, hang on.
Aha!
I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Aha!
What's this? What's down here?
I don't know.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years.
Oh
I
God.
can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh no, it's all dirty and dingy down here. This is so good.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny!
Oh my
Trying to
God.
be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh my God, this is great. Imagine if your review got posted in this game. That'd be so funny. But I guess if you reviewed the original game negatively, you'd have to buy the Ultra Deluxe version to see your review in the game. Which would be great. So you bought the game again just to see your negative comment in the game, huh? I guess you didn't hate it that much. It's all stormy now.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to.
How funny.
These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable
How's that possible,
isn't
J.
quite
Reed?
as sterling as I always remembered.
How can you have reviews out before the game is out? Unless they're fake. This is where Steam reviews go to die. Because the Stanley Parable was a mod originally? Oh yeah? Okay. See, but the way we went to get here is like the new content for the Ultra Deluxe. So, I don't know. Well, we'll see.
What's this one got to say?
I guess it doesn't really matter.
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Okay, good. Got a skip button now. Here it is. Right there. Oh, I thought there'd be pancakes or something behind here. No pancakes.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you with... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll
It was a mission
outline it for
statement.
you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice.
Okay.
That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made
You lost me
in
at
fact
erecting.
make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once, that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about
Cookie
this,
9 was
and
the person
whether
who wrote the
they'll edit
review.
the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest,
Last chance
I
on the
don't even
raffle,
know
gang.
one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review.
There we
Okay,
go.
welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes?
Yeah, it's going bigger.
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting
You
longer.
erased
and
my door.
God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely... Oh, Stanley, you're
You're
back.
back.
You're back.
It's been
Oh, my
83
goodness.
years.
I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sit. Oh, hello. It's
Hello.
you.
The tree
You're here
died,
again.
is
Welcome.
dead.
I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year.
Aw.
Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months.
You left this
I
guy
lost
alone
it
for a year.
all
I
in
know.
the
I wonder
blur
how
of
long
the
he will talk in
deepest
each one of
longing
these
to
segments.
undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action.
He's not even here. Oh my god. All silent. Narrator died waiting so long. Ran out of batteries. Isn't that weird that I checked that last time? Clock fell down. Fan's not running. Guess we push it again.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression.
Oh my God.
So because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think. To feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us.
I think
it wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First,
finally got to the loop, gang. It took a while. That was a verbal sprint. What's up, Seth? Alright, so how do we get out of here? How do we get out?
the end, is never 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 the end.
Yeah, I keep hearing like something open up.
The end is never the end, is never.
You guys hear that noise too?
End is never the.
Listen, there's like a noise of something opening. What is that noise? It's leaking over here. Is that the button refreshing? Is that all it is? It does sound like a Star Trek door. Oh, is that all it is? Oh, shit! Oh, it's the button refreshing. Okay. This is the end. This is the end. This is the end.
There was a person that subbed for 68 months, and that person happened to be
You.
68-month hype. Bog Otter hype. My son was chewing on electrical wires, so I had to ground him. He's doing better currently and is conducting himself properly. Bog Otter lol. Bog Otter troll Vina champ.
Thanks, Orblaze, for the 68. Just keep skipping. Life will find a way. Hello? It's been 83 years. Winter. Oh, all the vegetation's gone now. Nighttime. There's no more clock. Zombies? Zombies? We're not in Kansas anymore. I know, right, Hasty Hawk? We have no idea how long it's been. Every time was getting exponentially longer. Can we still hit the skip button? Nope, now it's broke. I'll head toward the sun.